Hey motivators, this is Drostan at night. We are joined by my lovely wife, Steph. Say hi.
Hi.
Or don't, I mean, she can do whatever she wants. She's a grown woman. Anyway.
You think you're funny?
I have my moments. I mean, anyway. So, today is another interview, and she's been begging me to interview her. So, here we are.
I like attention, but I actually don't. So.
Yeah. No, she likes attention. Anyway, so the big thing is, I guess we can start with, who are you? Who is Steph?
Your wife.
Okay.
I don't know. I was not prepared for that question.
That's okay. I ask hard questions up front.
No. I don't know.
And just tell us a little. Just tell them a little bit about you.
I love cats.
Yeah, you'll probably see them throughout this interview.
I've had 2 babies, and I love Star Wars, so that's fun. Been watching that a lot lately for some reason. It's just been my mood.
It's better than other things that boys could be watching.
And I love to bake. That's what I like to do in my free time when I'm not watching Star Wars.
That's
Baking.
That's how she keeps me fat and happy. Or
Yeah.
sassy. One of those.
All of them.
All of the above.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really done a whole lot in my life, so I don't feel like I'm very exciting.
Well, I wouldn't say that. But...
I've been to France, so
yeah?
that's cool.
And Quebec.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nobody likes Quebec except for Quebecers, whatever they call themselves. Nobody cares. Quebec. That's right. I said it like that just to piss you off. I'm going to bleep that.
Don't talk.
Anyway, Quebec.
I've been to France.
What are you going to do?
And I don't know, spent my time just hanging out with my friends, because that's all I really did growing up. Just hung out.
So,
ate a crap ton of sweets. So we can get into that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So, have you always been this thin? He asks unknowingly.
Yes.
Yeah?
I've always been much smaller than everybody else. I'm not even 5 foot.
She finally
fully
admits
grown.
it.
Being pregnant was the first time I ever made it past 95, 100 pounds.
She got into triple digits. We celebrated with cake.
I have worked the school's blood drive, was never allowed to donate, but I wanted to, but they wouldn't let me. So you gotta be like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So, and it's genetic. I have a brother taller than me, same waist size. So it is in the family.
He's about my height, and he's a beanpole. Like
he's very skinny.
There's probably about 2 of him and me.
He's the kind of guy that I'm scared that if the window's open while he's in the car, he's gonna fly out like a napkin on the highway.
I'm just imagining like a noodle of a man just right out the window.
That would be him.
Oh man, that'd be pretty funny, but horrible, but funny. Anyway, so you're a mother.
Yeah.
Right? Which would make sense because I'm a father.
Probably. Yeah.
That's what they say.
That's usually how it goes.
That's true. But anyway, so obviously I have a very different perspective of how your pregnancies went, being the dad and the husband.
Uh-huh.
Can you kind of describe for people who have been pregnant or have not, kind of how that went, and maybe some of the differences between numero uno and number 2?
The first time I'm not ever, having been pregnant before, didn't really know what to expect. Did not expect to feel so horrible, but yet not terrible. Especially in the beginning, threw up all the time. Had to go to the hospital twice to get fluids because I was so dehydrated, and had to get, I can't remember what it's called, an anti-nausea medicine.
An antiemetic. I don't remember what the name of it was, though.
It was Zofran.
Zofran.
It was Zofran. That's what it was. They had to give me that in the IV so that I could keep water down. And I kind of got some medicine from them that allowed me to actually get up out of bed and not throw up so I could eat. And it took the nausea away, and I felt great after that. So that first pregnancy, once we got that under control, it was good.
Yeah, it was quite stressful until we figured that out.
That was rough, I think, and that was early on. I was like,
Yeah.
how am I gonna make it the next
Yeah, it
6
was,
months like this?
because that was in like early January
Yeah.
when you had the first time, and he was born in like late August.
Yeah, it was rough.
That would have been real rough.
I know. I remember the second time in the ER, and they were like, "You're back again." It's only been like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I never had reflux, which was surprising because he was born with a full head of hair, so that's a myth. So I felt pretty good. Second time around, I felt horrible the whole time. Did not go to the hospital, luckily, never got that far. But the medicine it did help later in the beginning of the days were horrible for the whole 9 months.
I can attest to that.
I felt I never got that second trimester sudden energy boost. I never got that this time. I felt horrible. And maybe some of that was because I had a 2-year-old running around that I was also caring for. But it was not a great experience. It also had gestational diabetes this time around. Granted, it did not have to take insulin because I was diet controlled thanks to carnivore diet.
Caught the beatus in time.
I did not have that with the first one, but I don't know. For some reason, my intuition was telling me this time around that I was gonna have it. It was gonna suck. But that obviously changed my diet quite a bit, which is kind of rough when you're pregnant because a lot of things really don't sound good. And it's not one of those just like, I'm not in the mood for chicken, but I'm going to eat chicken. If I eat this, I'm going to throw up because it's not going to sit, so.
I don't know.
No.
I have not had that experience.
That was the hardest part because there's also a lot of things that they don't want you to eat because, like listeria, for example, is rampant in a lot of things apparently. And just the way that they make certain foods that you wouldn't like, jerky, you can't eat jerky when you're pregnant. And I like jerky. And that would have been perfect.
I wonder with that if like we made the jerky ourselves.
If we did it ourselves, yes.
Okay, so they approve it. It's just the way it's manufactured. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was going to say, because we could probably next time just make it ourselves. Mm-hmm. Circling back to like medication that you were taking, maybe can you describe some of that and how that helped you and what it was? Well,
when I did get the Zofran, I wouldn't take that again while pregnant, probably. That's just me. But there was a prescription they gave me the first time, and I can't exactly remember what Diglegus, something like that.
I don't remember.
Maybe that wasn't it. I don't remember. It was a prescription, but basically, it is a combination of vitamin B6 and Unisom sleep tabs. And they just put those together into one single pill. And when that prescription ran out, was when I had to go back to the hospital the second time. And I called my doctor and asked for that again. And the nurse said, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This is what it is. So just go buy those two things and you'll have a really strong supply because, and cheaper.
It was way cheaper, especially with my crappy insurance.
Yeah, I did that.
Another topic for another day.
The only thing about that was kind of like the B6. I couldn't find it in anything other than 100 milligram pills. Mm-hmm. And you want to take it in 25 milligram increments. So I had to cut it into, fourths every time. But I'm sure it's out there. I just never found it. But
maybe if we ordered it online next time.
Yeah.
I'll probably look for that next time, just so it's easier.
Yep. And you can take that any time of the day, but since you are taking a sleep tab with it, ideally you want to start out taking it at night. And then it is, so they told me, safe to take throughout the whole pregnancy. Obviously, you're going to build up a resistance to the sleep part. So then you can start taking it during the day if you need to, and you're not going to get drowsy. Like, it never made me drowsy because I've taken it so much.
Mm-hmm. And you've taken it through like 2 whole pregnancies now, so.
But I did some more research later, and it seems that a lot of the sickness during pregnancy is due to I believe it was a magnesium deficiency.
A lot of it, yeah.
So, and I never took magnesium.
Yeah, nobody ever said that.
So I wonder now, we're hoping to have a third child too. If I start with that, maybe, hopefully, or maybe I just won't be as sick. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not banking on that though. I have a feeling.
Well, I mean, it is you we're talking about, and it's my crazy genetics.
Yeah.
So.
But my mother and her mother were also very sick during their pregnancies. Yeah. So.
Don't worry, my mother wasn't, and
she tells me every time. Thank you.
Love you, Mom. I know you're watching.
I'm not bad at it.
It's just amusing.
I'm always like, I wish.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was what I took, the B6 and the Unisom. And it did work, I think. I mean, without it, it definitely would have been way more dreadful.
Oh, yeah.
I have heard of moms being stuck on a Zofran pump for their pregnancy because they had such severe, I don't even know how to say the HG, like hypermesia gravidae. It's extreme sickness during pregnancy, which I was diagnosed with to a mild extent, but
no, thank you.
I know. I remember reading about that and thinking, oh, that's horrible. I feel so bad. But,
yeah.
But yeah, that was what I took.
Okay. Well, I guess we can also talk about this bug that somehow got inside as soon as I started filming because
it's just one of those.
It's like a stink bug thing.
Yeah.
No, shoo, go away.
Would be nice if one of the cats would take care
I'm
of it.
surprised they're not. They're being quite docile, which is surprising.
No.
I think Dart's just taking a nap back there. He doesn't want to be on camera. He's camera shy. Anyway. So, I guess we can go back a little bit to our first son when you were pregnant. Then I can do a little talking this time. I'll give you a break. So around that time, that was about 2021. After she kind of started getting better with the sickness and figuring that out, I've been having a lot of health problems before then. I mean, I've kind of talked about it a little bit on the channel, but maybe one day I can interview myself and I can just do my own story more in detail. Maybe that could be a live stream. That could be fun as a live stream. Anyway, I'm going to put a pin in that. But I've been having a lot of health problems, and I discovered that Dr. Ken Berry, which I've been reading his book, and by the time you guys see this video, I have finished that book and I'm getting ready to do the live stream, so that should be coming up here pretty soon. But I discovered the carnivore thing and was really interested in it, and I actually talked to our parish priest, Father Mark, about it, who, shout out Father Mark, you're the guy. But he recommended that I try to go carnivore, because I was having some, basically the health scare was kind of similar to this start of this whole saga, aka the YouTube channel, was I got diagnosed with prediabetes at that point, and that I was like, what? No, I don't. I don't want that. That's no good. And then basically, I was just told, yeah, there's nothing you can do. It's just a chronic disease that you'll have forever, and it'll progressively get worse until you die. Which that didn't sit right with me, especially having a bub on the way. So I started doing the research, and I discovered the carnivore diet. Well, really the keto diet, and then I just kind of progressed into the carnivore diet because I'm simple, and the carnivore diet is way easier conceptually for me to understand than the keto diet. Though the keto diet is perfectly fine, and they're both great tools in the tool belt. For me, all I have to remember was meat, fish, poultry, dairy. If it's not one of those, don't eat it. And that was it was difficult.
My mom out for sure.
both of our moms.
Oh, yeah.
Though, funnily enough, our moms are starting to, they're coming around. They're definitely coming around.
I feel like you need to eat a vegetable.
Yeah, I think I give her like anxiety about not eating vegetables.
Yeah.
You know, I do sometimes, but anyway. But yeah, back then I was on medication for blood pressure. I had a lot of pain, which I still do. The pain thing didn't fully go away whenever I was really deep in the carnivore. But it did get a lot better, and then I just decided from that point that I don't need the meds. Like, I didn't want to be dependent on it. So because I'm stubborn, as you guys probably can tell, yeah, I just gave those up. But yeah, I got off the blood pressure meds. I was sleeping better. Like, I was to the point to where I would sleep like 4 hours a night, and I would wake up and be like buzzed of energy, and I'd have to like go like do push-ups or something to burn off some energy so I go back to sleep.
I don't. Have you mentioned that you have sleep apnea?
Oh, yeah, I also have sleep apnea.
Of course.
Yeah, you can probably tell by my lack of neck here.
I mean, that's a big family trait.
Oh yeah, like everybody on my side of the family have that. So
I don't remember you snoring as much.
Oh, well, that's new.
You did have a CPAP that you were using, so maybe that was
that could have played a part. I was still using the CPAP then.
I don't quite remember you being as obnoxious.
Yeah, you could probably hear me from the county over when I don't use anything. It's pretty bad. But yeah. So after like, I wasn't even on it for that long, because I was like February to like June, so like 4 months. Because it was around Pentecost is when I ended up stopping. Yeah, I got off all my medications. I was
doing really good.
I was losing a lot of weight.
You were a new man.
No. No, I had a better outlook on life. Like, my mental state improved greatly. I could breathe better because I also have asthma, though I had that tested recently and they said it's like gone away, but it can come back apparently. So I don't know. I just say I have asthma just to get out of things at this point. I can't do that. I'm asthmatic.
Well, you can't scuba dive, so
yeah,
that's too bad.
And if I can't scuba, then what has this all been about? Name the reference. I'm gonna put it on you people. Name the reference. But yeah, so I lost like almost 30 pounds in those like 4 months. And for me, and the other times that I've tried various things. That was the only thing that ever worked for me.
Yeah.
Basically, the reason why I stopped carnivore was shortly before you were, or our son was born. We were baptized. Well, you were baptized, and I was chrismated. So we were brought into the Orthodox Church, and in Orthodoxy we do fasting. So basically, think vegan without the pretentiousness, sort of deal. We just don't eat like animal products for a while, for different periods. Like we just got through Christmas, so the whole nativity period, there's no like eating red meat or dairy. But there's a lot of fish in the nativity fast, though. Because of our current situation, we don't follow that part as much.
Pregnant,
But
nursing.
yeah, you don't have to do it if you're pregnant or nursing. If you have like health conditions like yours truly here, I have a blessing. So that's why my things are a little different than some of the homies in the chat. But yeah, so basically I didn't realize that I had so many sensitivities to food until basically I was told to fast for 2 weeks to prepare for chrismation. And man, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Granted, I did not fast very well. Like the way I did it was bad. It was a lot of peanut butter sandwiches, like a lot of peanut butter sandwiches. And yeah, my acid reflux came back. My asthma, like wheezing all the time, came back like immediately. I was getting migraines, and I still get migraines if I try to fast like that, like within a couple of days. Like it's pretty bad. It's miserable. I'll do it if I have to, but it's not fun. But yeah, so that's basically where I started on the carnivore rabbit hole, and then trying to get back onto it ever since. And then with this time, but that came in handy for us with when you were diagnosed with the gestational beatus.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about kind of how we used the low carb mindset to keep your diabetes under control
Yeah,
and keep you from keeping it after giving birth, because that is common.
kind of.
Well, I mean, depending on the circumstance. I think it
Yeah,
depends on how bad your beatus
It depends.
was.
It depends, and also just your normal lifestyle, your health, and family history. But
Stupid man.
since I was very familiar with it, and it wasn't so hard. I mean, I guess the hardest thing was not even to give up. I mean, not give up, but really limit things like bread and and stuff. It was limiting chocolate. I wanted it so bad. My sweets cravings were insane with the second. And
that is true.
maybe that was a part of it. I don't know. Supposedly, what I do know about gestational diabetes is it's completely random. It does not matter how your health is. It is purely based on your placenta, and that's it. As soon as that placenta was gone, my diabetes was gone. So, I don't know. But giving up that was difficult. So I did get some things like the 90% dark chocolate just to feel a little bit alive.
It was, especially if you've been doing low carb for a while, even that can be too sweet.
But yeah, I just had followed your example throughout the couple years. What's that mean? Of
Makes it funny.
I would get up and my main meals would consist of like eggs and bacon and sausage and beef, chicken. I would include vegetables, and there's an order in which you want to eat it because then I would have to test my blood sugar 2 hours after I ate. And if I wanted to include vegetables or fruit or a carb, because you still need to kind of have some carbs, When you're pregnant, supposedly.
So they say. I haven't done enough research into it to.
But if you wanted to include those, you needed to eat those after the protein. So I had to keep that in mind.
And the fat, yeah.
Yeah. And steak was probably what I kind of had the most of. That's what you always eat. So.
Unfortunately, we had to kind of butcher it for
but,
you.
and I like it like raw. Had to eat it
how it's
charred,
meant to be eaten. Ugh.
But
it's like a briquette.
Okay. I just dipped it in my Worcestershire.
Yeah, looking at me all angry.
Yeah, I got
jealous.
used to it. Honestly, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
So just things like that. And I don't know, in a way it's kind of stuck with me because I used to be such a huge pasta eater. And I'm not anymore. I'm really
it was like
not.
every meal almost for years. And we wonder why I got so fat.
No, it's just good. It's tasty.
It is tasty, I will say. It just
now
bothers my GERD so much. I can't do it anymore. I just can't.
But I don't know. It just doesn't really appeal to me anymore. I just feel like most satisfied if I have a much heavier protein, based. The other thing that I really kind of lived off of, mostly in the mornings, was, especially if we were going somewhere, because I'd get really car sick.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the morning. So I would start with something that was easy and that to me was going to taste good, which was protein shakes. And I think I was using the Premier protein powder.
Yeah.
And I would make that in the mornings. And it helped a lot because it never spiked my blood sugar. So that was good. I would always, test, but it never spiked it. And it kind of gave me that first boost, a little bit of fill in my tummy that I needed to start the day. And if I didn't have it in the morning, then it was kind of my special treat later in the day. While it wasn't perfect chocolate taste, because they don't typically put real sugar in there, it was the next best thing. And that was my chocolate milk in the morning, basically.
Chocolate milk.
And yeah, I had to just tweak other things. Like I love coffee. I say that like coffee because it's coffee with a bunch of chocolate and milk and sugar.
Yeah.
And I was just a decaf, of course, but I was just having pretty much almost straight black coffee with milk. I don't know what the term for that one. Cappuccino. I don't know. No sugar.
I don't know.
Just milk and.
I just drink black coffee with maybe some salt, which that gets looks from people.
Yeah, I bet. That's interesting.
Yeah, I've told that to many people. Upcoming how to fast video that will make an appearance, because that's a good trick. Also, it tastes good.
Yeah.
You don't expect it, but it tastes good. Also, salted tea also tastes good.
Anyway.
I think I made her uncomfortable.
A little bit. A lot of but I guess still, again, the biggest issue is just, like, I don't really like scrambled eggs very much. I prefer sunny side up. But is it supposed to have the raw, runny yolk? And I would kind of have to force myself to eat the scrambled eggs, which, wasn't tasting very good. I wanted to put ketchup on them, but I didn't.
That's another good trick. Not carnivore at all, but
that one I thought,
it's a good trick.
The first time I thought there's something wrong with you, and then I tried it, and I think now every time I have scrambled eggs, I'm thinking I need ketchup. But yeah,
I have good ideas. Listen to the fat guy on the food. Okay,
That's true.
I have my things.
But yeah, that was it. A lot of the things that I really craved, I just wasn't able to really eat. I would have spiked my sugar. Pizza. That one. We did have that one night just because my doctor had said if you have one or two, you know, occasionally now and then, it's not going to hurt anything, especially since I wasn't on insulin and I was pretty well controlled. But boy, that spike, that one scared me a little.
That one was pretty high.
I think it was one slice of pizza. So,
yeah, it went like over 250.
It didn't go that high, but I mean, it went to about 200.
That's it.
Which, I mean, obviously not, there is much higher, but for me.
I mean, that is still fairly high.
I was like, I gotta go up and down the stairs a little bit.
Walk it off. Yeah. So tell me, how was tracking your sugar? Because you did it with the old school way.
So I just used the finger prick, which if I get third baby, I plan on starting that early for one, because that glucose test during pregnancy, dreadful. I obviously failed the first one.
Really?
Where they give you, I don't even remember.
Like a Snickers bar type thing? Or was that the drink one?
No, it was a drink. You chug this bottle of this sugar water, basically, flavored sugar water. And then you go about an hour or so after and get your blood drawn. And then you get your results a little bit later. When they called me the very next day, which is how I knew.
It's a bad sign.
And they had me come in for the second test, which is a drink of much higher sugar concentration. And they keep you there for 3 hours, and they test every hour. They do it first thing in the morning, and I said, this is not going to work for me. And they said, just come in anyway. I think I made it 20 minutes before it all came back up. So...
actually pretty good for
it wasn't,
that's impressive for how pretty much you would like think about eating something and it would immediately come up.
Yeah, so I was really trying. I was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, we can either give you can come back another day and do, like, you have to eat candy bars. I was like, I'm just going to go get the testing stuff and do it myself. So, yeah, so I started pricking my finger and testing it that way. And I had to do it first thing waking up to see what my fasting was. Mm-hmm. And then I had to do it 3 times a day after that, 2 hours after every meal.
After the meals, yeah.
And I had a little grid paper, and every time I had an appointment, I would bring it, and then they would look it over. And that was how I did that. Should I have third baby, I will start checking early. And then if it does seem to be that I'm going down that route again, I will probably get that arm implant.
Get that, the continuous one.
I probably still have little marks on my finger just because it gets old after a while.
Yeah, I really feel for the people who do that, like, for years upon years or decades.
Oh, their fingers get tough, too.
Oh, yeah.
My grandma did that, and it gets...
Yeah. I tried doing it a couple times just because I was curious for my own. And,
we had trouble getting...
Yeah, we had trouble actually getting enough blood.
You gotta go to the side.
I had to, like, go to the side, and, like, I'd basically have to, like, pick in between the little grooves in the finger, like, where your fingerprint is, and then I'd have to, like, turn up the getcha to, like, all the way up, and then I still sometimes, it was hard.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why whenever I decided I was going to do the glucose testing, I was going to use the other thing, which I plan on reviewing somewhat soon. I have like 2 more of those that I got because I forgot that I signed up for a subscription instead of, because you can't buy them individually. You had to buy them like per month, and it's like a subscription. It was dumb, but yeah, I didn't I didn't like them as much as I wanted for the purposes of this channel, for like what I thought I was going to get with it. So that was where I, you know, it is what it is. If I didn't have to use it, or like in your situation where I had to regularly test it, oh yeah, easy day. It'd be so much easier. But I noticed whenever I was tracking my sugar, like I could really see the spikes, and I could tell like what I ate, and I could, I was kind of tracking it. You kind of touched on it earlier, but how did you like notice the spikes and like kind of play with the diet around and timing of things to figure out?
The other thing with that is diet, but also I do remember this one time, and I was at Noodles and Company with my friend, and I knew, it was kind of one of those, I had been doing really well. So I'm just going to have some pasta.
Just kind of go for it.
I needed time away from my toddler. Let's have some pasta. So I did eat it, but I knew we were going to Target afterward. And I was walking through Target for, I don't know, an hour and a half with her, and we were just walking and walking. And I made it home, in time for my 2-hour check. And it was way lower than I expected it to be. So I did try to keep that in mind a lot if I was going to have something that would have spiked it. Especially during lunch, because, at dinner time, it's getting late.
Lunch is the easier time to do that, because you have more of the day to...
At lunch, yeah. If I really wanted something, maybe kind of a sandwich or whatever that had more carbs, I would go outside with our son and just be in the backyard moving, and that would really bring those spikes down. And then I also would pay attention to, okay, I had a steak, and then I had maybe some potatoes with the steak, but I had a steak, big steak. And I check it after 2 hours, and I'm like, in the 90, which, wow.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
Yeah, I really paid attention to what I was doing and what proteins I was eating with the food. Did that answer the question?
Yeah.
I don't totally remember.
That's fine.
But
yeah, I've noticed that.
Oh, the pattern, yeah.
Yeah, like the patterns, like.
So it just depending on mostly those factors.
Yeah, I remember you got a lot more. Like you paid attention to the patterns more. Like you noticed things that you wouldn't have otherwise noticed because you were tracking that.
Yeah.
And I noticed the same thing when I was using my continuous monitor. Because I would kind of experiment with it because, why not? I'm doing it. And like with eating a steak with like a big thing of mashed potatoes and like corn, I noticed if I ate the steak first and then ate the potatoes, my graph would just basically stay consistent. It might slowly kind of have like a little upward trend and then come back down. But it wouldn't go past, like 100 nanograms per deciliter or something, whatever the measurement is, I forget. But if I ate the potatoes first, like the potato and corn first, and then ate the steak, it would spike like crazy. Or even if I like ate them like together and at the same time, it would do that.
Something else I had noticed that I didn't really look much into, and I think I mentioned to you
probably
briefly, and we might have talked. I don't remember, but
I don't remember.
Just pasta. That'll. Ooh,
yeah, pastas and pizza. I noticed pizza too for me.
I was over with my dad one of those times, and he made spaghetti and meat sauce, garlic bread, and I ate that. But I also had an unsweet tea, caffeinated, and I had a big glass of that. And when I tested 2 hours later, I was in the right range. And I remember saying something to you about it, and you said the caffeine kind of helped, because I didn't really move around. He was in an apartment, so I was nowhere to go. Yeah. But
I've read that caffeine can have an effect on that.
I mean, maybe some of it was the meat
like,
sauce, but
well, possibly. The black tea actually is very good for helping with
yeah.
basically blunting sugar spikes. For some reason, it helps to lower blood sugar, and I don't. From the research that I've done, they haven't. I don't think they fully understand why that is. But it. I mean, I noticed that even drinking like sweet tea, like God intended, it doesn't. I mean, it does not spike nearly as much as I would expect it to. Like, I mean, it would spike a little bit because like I put sugar in it too. Like, let's be real. But it. I mean, wouldn't be that much.
Well, I also had read several places that
Dark chocolate also,
I
and
don't know. I would eat
we
that.
tested that, and that did the same thing. But it had to be
Yeah.
like over like 75% or something.
Yeah.
Like the darker it
something
was,
like
the better effect you had.
Yeah.
But, basically, like Hershey's Special Dark still had too much sugar in it. It was kind of like it broke even, like it didn't spike or make it go lower.
It
But
was, yeah.
if you got hot, like if you got a more concentrated than that, that would do it.
Mm-hmm.
But
But yeah.
yeah. So I guess we'll probably wrap up here. We've been kind of yapping for a bit, but that's kind of why we're here. Oh, the bug's back. I thought you left.
He's got something to say.
Apparently. But what do you have any advice or things that you would have wanted to know when you were first getting pregnant, or even the second, or maybe soon to be third time around?
I definitely would have wanted to know that there's nothing you can do to prevent gestational diabetes, for one, because it doesn't discriminate. I'll tell you that. And it's just weird that it just leaves. And it's that placenta. That placenta will make or break you. It is. I also I would have liked to know just how much your palate can change. I remember with the first things tasted weird to me. Things things that I really liked to eat tasted weird to me and not good. Which I'm trying to eat here.
Just let me have this.
I know. And I remember saying something to my mom, and she said, "Yep, that happens." And I was like, "That's nice."
Could have warned a sister.
And there's other things there's other things that I've come to really actually like ever since being pregnant. I don't know if I want to say one of them on here because I didn't like chocolate milk. I know. I didn't care for it. What? And
Okay.
after these pregnancies,
right. Man,
I've been drinking it because it sounds really good.
I feel like I can't be with you anymore.
Oh.
That's hardcore.
You knew this about me. Yes, you did.
I don't remember things. Okay, but you like chocolate milk now.
Yeah, I've been wanting to drink it
Little
more often.
man's convinced you. He's brought you to
Yeah.
the dark side.
Yeah.
Literally, because it's chocolate.
So there's that. It's just everybody's experience is so much different too. So I feel like you can't always properly be prepared.
I mean, even from pregnancy to pregnancy, because your first one was quite a bit different than your second one.
That's probably the worst part. So you think, I've done this before.
Oh, I got this. This is all different.
I know. With how sick I was with the first one, I remember thinking, I can't get worse than this.
Yeah, that was yeah.
It's like his sleep, I thought, it can't get worse, and then it did. But
he's better now. The second one is in the I don't want to sleep now phase.
He's constantly teething.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that was what the first one's deal was, too.
Well, and it
just kind of is what it is. It's just that age.
Yeah. So there's that. And it's an experience. It's one you're never going to be properly prepared for until you're going through it. And then, honestly, it's going to be over and you're going to think, I made it.
Yeah.
I can do it again. I can do it again. It's fine.
Yeah. As the husband, it's funny watching the, like, 5 stages of grief play out through, because you have, like, the pregnancy where they're like upset with it, and then, oh, it sucks, and then they kind of accept it, and then once they accept it is when the baby comes, or they like accept it, like, okay, yeah, I can be pregnant, this is fine, and then like the last month of the pregnancy, they get super uncomfortable and
yeah,
fun to be around. It's the best lovely person that I love to be around. And then the baby comes, and then she really hates you. Like, really hates you for like a good 6 months at least.
No, I would look at you and be so mad, and I don't know why. But
I don't know. I have that effect on people anyway. But yeah,
but then it passed.
But then it passes, and then they're like, okay, like, I'm cool with this, and then, but I don't want another kid. I don't want to do that again. And then a little time goes on. And like, okay, yeah.
The baby starts getting older.
Baby starts getting older. Oh, it's not a baby anymore. Oh, I kind of miss it. And then, let's have another one. And then she gets pregnant again. And then, how could you do this to me? Yeah, and then the cycle repeats.
It's a whirlwind.
That is a very charitable way of putting it. Yeah, it is a whirlwind for everybody.
Fun. Yeah.
But I wouldn't trade it. I don't know. I think it's better to be on my side of the equation in some way, in a lot of ways, in the suckiness factor. But on the flip side of that, as the dad, you're not the one actively doing it. And typically, as men, we like to be the ones that are actively doing things, and it's easier for us, especially for us, to just get through something if you're just the one doing it. But it's humbling to be like on the sideline, having to just kind of be there and just be the support. It's different. It's a good experience. I mean,
I think the biggest thing that I wish I had thought, like, I hadn't thought about it until, I was in late second trimester, is, when you're sick and you're thinking, this is going to end soon. It's going to get, you're going to get better. You're going to go up that hill from here. But when you're pregnant, you're just, it's bigger. It's getting bigger. You're getting worse. Like, it's getting harder in a way.
Oh.
And you have to, you feel like it's just going to get bigger and bigger from here until the very end, And then all of a sudden it's gone.
Then it comes out, and then it does get bigger and bigger.
But just, physically.
Yeah.
You just got to accept that, you're not gonna feel, I don't want to say worse, but it's gonna get harder in a way, because you're bigger, the more aches, heavier belly, you're probably gonna be getting more reflux if you deal with that, and you're gonna be just...
Especially when you're little like you,
yeah.
And you have large babies.
Yeah.
Like you've had. Yeah. She was big. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of amusing looking back on it. You don't, like, I'd forget about it, and then we see pictures like, oh,
like last Christmas, how I was looking at my face going, wow.
Yeah.
Who was she? But
who ate me?
I know. What did I eat?
But yeah. Yeah.
It's great though.
So, well, motivators, thanks for hanging out with us. This will be up whenever it is. That's when you'll be seeing it. But we should be having a live stream for the book, the Dr. Berry book. Lies My Doctor Told Me. That should be up soon, or I should be doing that soon. May or may not be after or before you see this video. And whenever I do release that, I'll put it in the cards on whichever side of the screen that is, because I forget which side it is. I always forget. Yeah, she's going to laugh at me later. Well, sometimes the cameras are flipped, and I don't care. I just point at both, and I get it most of the time.
Too bad we didn't have a sign, because I was feeling kind of like Sheldon and Amy, like fun with flags in the beginning.
Oh man, when they do it in German, Spaß mit Flaggen or something. Yeah, Sheldon, Amy Fowler, and Sheldon Cooper present Sheldon Cooper's fun with flags.
I'm Dr. Sheldon Cooper.
And I'm Dr. Amy Farrah Fowler.
And welcome to the first on-location episode of Dr. Sheldon Cooper and Dr. Amy Farrah Fowler present Dr. Sheldon Cooper's Fun with Flags.
Oh man, but that could have been fun. We just kind of did this on the whim when the boys finally fell asleep. So, and the bug is back. So anyway, all right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. So we'll see you later. Bye.